Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and good evening to everyone. In this video, I will share the progress of my development of our KenduriApp. So I'm gonna go through our login page. So some of the few things that I've implemented and pushed in our branch. The main branch is our guest management and our forms and registrations pages. Let's take a look on how our event organizer will use this app. So what are they going to do first is probably the forms and registrations. So if you go there, it will show this 3-step setup visit, and it will briefly explain how the system works and how do we move on from there. So I can create my invitation form, and in this interface I have improved the design to be more user friendly, and as you can see, the top half is going to be the form details and the built-in questions like we've discussed previously, and below that we can find the form fields. Now as you can see, email is required as usual because it is required for the QR system. And yeah, let's try to fill out the form. Guess expression interest. Please fill out this form. So for example, if someone is interested and in this event, but we as an organizer have dietary preferences that we will have to ask them, then the best case is that, with our assumption for our project, is that we're gonna use these built-in questions. Why built-in questions? Because the built-in questions will limit these options to none, vegan, halal, and other. Same goes to these three. So that is the assumption that we made. So let's say there's gonna be a dinner. I'm gonna put a dietary preferences, and it's also a system field that can't be edited. Let's add a new one for our own. So it's gonna be name, and some features that I've added is we can actually drag and drop the field, or we can just use the up and down arrow button. Yep. So I want the name to be the first one. Email, dietary needs, allergy as well, and +1. So this is the dependencies. This is gonna be the amount of people that you're gonna bring along for the event. Now once you've done this, we can add like a new field just for do you have an extra help or concerns raising here, and it is not required, so we can just Then on the last stage is our form review. So the review, I tried to simplify everything in a way that it's not just re-showing how the form is going to look like, but just sums up the form fields and what we're going to show in our own forms. Like we'll have name, email, dietary needs, etc. Is it required, system. Then the top one is just the title, description, and the status. And now we have like a live preview, and yeah, it's not going to do anything, and we'll say save and continue. Now once we have save and continue, it's going to bring us over here. So what's happening over here is that it will check the session, And for example, if we already created a form in our database, there is no way for us to go back to the 3 steps setup wizard that we just did just now. And so this is the current quote unquote dashboard for our forms. So it's going to show us a summary of the responses, last submitted, total questions, required questions. And I've also set the logic to be where there's a 3 state for the forms, whether it's unpublished, published, or closed. So for you to edit the form, you cannot be like publish, or it cannot be public. Same goes to deleting or anything else. And right now we have our form link. So let's say right now we are ready, right? Maybe we just want to see it first. Preview form. Oh shit, it doesn't work. Oh yeah, this one. This is a public form. So the public form, okay, there's some bug over there, but when we haven't published the form yet, the submit button won't work. So yeah, we can check it out first before we send out these links. So this is how our form is gonna look. And then let's assume that we're gonna publish the form. So it is published and it's accepting responses. Now when we are accepting responses, the responses tab will be available for us to view. So once we press responses, it will show the latest 50 shown. Now let's try and fill up these forms. And if we refresh it, it should be able, yeah. So email. Oops. Yep. Halal. No. I'm bringing 3 people. No, I'm not going to fill that. So once you've submitted, it will say thank you, your response has been recorded. And if you look at the response, voila, we are going to see the responses, the 50 latest. So if you imagine there's like 150, it will show the latest 50. And there's a refresh button. So let's say we're going to try and close the form. So it's closed, no longer accepting responses, and if we reopen, we cannot edit the form. Let's see the edit form function. So it's basically the same thing that we implemented just now, like the 3 steps wizard setup, but the edit one is not like guided or anything. It's just like you go back to the setup, so it will bring you to review, and that's it, nothing too much. So let's go back. Okay, now as we've discussed in our previous meeting, the responses are directly reflected in our guest management interface, right? So our backend is very dynamic. So to tackle that, our query is actually doable. I'm going to show you. Let's try. I'm going to fill up more form. Just to make the tables look more filled. So if we look at our responses tab, now we have 4 responses. And yeah, let's close the form and let's go to our guest management. So in the guest management, I've set up something that will at least help our event organizer to be more literate in terms of like how they're going to use our system, how they're going to understand that everything is connected with each other. So when we say guest management, they're probably going to be like, oh, where do I get this info, right? So I set up like an introduction or like a tutorial, like a simple, like a few steps for them to be introduced to our guest management system. So as you can see, like it will tell us that it is automatically built from your RSVP form responses. So to make your guest list readable and easy to manage, we need to connect your form questions to guest details like name, email, and phone. So we are going to be aligning this. They will have to do it. So when we press start setup, we will have to label how each form question should appear in our guest list. So let's say inside our form, right, just now, we have the name. So the display label for our columns will also be name as well. Same goes to the email. But for like dietary needs, that's going to be like just dietary needs. And this one, for the allergies, you can just say the allergies. And how many people are we bringing along? We can just type it as dependencies. Now this may need some more polishing, because we have to understand that not every event organizer is a tech savvy. They might not understand what aligning means in terms of when we're playing with datas and everything. So do we have any extra help or concerns? You can just type it as concerns. So all form questions are labeled, so we can just say confirm and all set. Our guest list is now connected to your form fields. Now when we relabel the forms, we're not changing anything inside our database, so we don't have to worry about that anymore. It is just a label that is stored in our local storage. So this is the current guest management interface. What I did that I'm trying to give freedoms to the guests, to the event organizer. Right now, all of the columns can be moved. It won't affect anything. It's just the way the data is being represented for the event organizer. And as you can see, the selected field is the selected row will be shown on the left with more details. And yeah, you can scroll down, and then you can also hide the column. So maybe like as an event organizer, you won't be needing like concerns. Maybe this is for the other usage, not for when we're applying or like planning to send out the QR. So we can just hide the columns for the concerns. And yeah, and let's say if you want to like highlight a certain column, maybe we're doing and checking it, I want to look at the dietary needs, we can just like add colors and highlight it. Now this works for every column, and for future features implementation, I'm probably going to make the freezable pane optional, like you can change which columns can be freezed. And yeah, and then when we want to edit the guest details that we want to edit for last minute changes, right, you can just press the edit button, and then we can just change the name or anything, any of the fields. But right now, the changes that we made here are reflected in the database at the moment, so that will be implemented this week as well. So it should be done. So yeah, that's all for now at the moment. The good thing about it is that everything is dynamic, so no matter how much I put in terms of the forms, every responses will be inside of it, will be here. Everything will be reflected over here. And yeah, some other changes that I've implemented is the top bar as well. We have the guest management and everything. It will bring you to the other pages as well. Even the layout management is working as well right now. And if you press the back button, it's gonna bring you to the event dashboard. Oh, and also you can rearrange the width of the column. So maybe you as a organizer, you don't want to see certain things, just want to focus on certain stuff. Yeah, just like that. And other than that, you can also search by dietary needs. So just search by halal, so you will see it over here. Or just by all fields, so it will filter by every columns. Yep. So that's all for now. Thank you so much. I will be implementing the QR check-in, the QR generator first, and the features to import CSV and export the list here that will be useful for the what do you call them, that will be useful for the vendor. So maybe they want to give this to the caterer for the foods, so they can just like search responses, maybe halal, and then just print out this one. So that's how I'm going to implement it. Thank you so much, and have a good day.